everyone, welcome back to my channel, Warren Canonigo, and you're watching the FYI sessions where Filipino learners can savor bite-sized English lessons. With me, Teacher Warren, and my references, the Merriam-Webster Dictionary and Princhasal Grammar and Composition book by Gary Ferlini and co-authors. Today, I will be answering 5 of my most favorite Miss Universe final questions. Yes, that's the highlight. That's the heart of today's episode. But before that happens, let's first define what a question is. A question is otherwise known as an interrogative sentence. Yes, an interrogative sentence. A question is used to test knowledge, and we all know that in school, and it's also used to acquire or elicit information. And these data will come in a form of an answer, response, or reply to a question. Okay. And if ever the question requires only one specific answer, let's say a yes or no or a one-word answer, then that question is what we call as a close-ended question. Again, close-ended question. And if ever that question requires a more elaborated answer, say a discussion or an explanation, exemplification, enumeration, listing, then that is what we call as open-ended questions. Later on, I will answer 5 open-ended questions, and I will also answer 5 closed-ended questions. Okay, so the 5 Miss Universe questions that I'll be answering later would fall under the classification or category of open-ended questions because of course I need to explain. But I'm not gonna answer it the beauty queen way because I will never be a beauty queen, but I will always be a fanatic. I will always be a fan, and I will always consider the Miss Universe pageant as a part of my paradise, like my comfort zone. Okay, before we meet our consonant sound for this episode, I first have to share to you some things about or some things related to questions. Now, a student once asked me, is it possible for a question to come in a form of an incomplete sentence? Of course, that is very much possible. And we call them incomplete questions. I'll give you examples of incomplete questions. Say, how much? How many? How old? Really? Sure? Serious? Okay, so those are examples of incomplete questions. And also, statements can also be questions. We all know statements are declarative sentences. They express a fact or an opinion. And because of the power of the question mark, again, the question mark, which is the punctuation point for interrogative sentences, a statement can become a question. Again, it's called statement intended as a question. I will give you an example. Mrs. Cruz placed the modules on the laboratory table. Again, Mrs. Cruz placed the modules on the laboratory table. In that case, it is a statement still, but without changing the structure of the sentence, as long as you indicate or punctuate it with a question mark, it becomes a question already. But of course, the intonation will change. Okay, so right now, for example, if there is already a question mark, then this will be the sound when you say the sentence. Mrs. Cruz placed the modules on the laboratory table. I'm so sorry. Okay, let me do that again. Mrs. Cruz placed the modules on the laboratory table. Okay, so now that sounded as a question already. Okay, so again, aside from the basic interrogative sentences or questions, we have the incomplete questions, and we also have the statement intended as a question. Okay. Okay. So now I would like to present to you my consonant sound for the day, and that is wa, 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 as in Warren, water oozle, whatnot, wannabe, and what is the last one? We have wait person. Wait person. Okay, so let's start with the first one, Warren. Warren. Okay. If you would notice, the word Warren is not capitalized. If I'll say capitalized, the first letter of the word should be an uppercase form or should be a capital letter. Okay, so let me make this clear. Some students, some learners would use all capital letters to write a word when their teacher instructs them to capitalize a word. That is actually a misconception. If someone will ask you to please capitalize the word, you will only use capital letter as the first letter of the word. Okay? So like when you write your name and you say capitalize, so that's capital WARREN. In this case, the word is not capitalized, so it's not a proper noun. It doesn't refer to a name of a specific person. But Warren in here is a common noun which refers to an area where rabbits are bred and raised. So that is Warren. So I never really expected that is the meaning of my name. But the good thing about it, the silver lining about it, is at least it refers to a place where a living thing is being taken care of. So there's compassion in there, and there's love, and there's care. So I'm still very proud that I have the name Warren. Okay, the next one is water oozle. Water oozle. A simpler term for a water oozle is a dipper. In Cebuano Visayan language is kabo, or in Filipino tabo. Yung kabo. It's actually a cup with a long handle which you use to fetch water from a container. So that is water oozle. Okay. Next is whatnot. Whatnot. Okay. Okay, of course it has the sound of wa. And whatnot is a pronoun which refers to other things that you may possibly mention or that you can still mention as part of the list or as part of the enumeration. It's very similar to etc. Okay, for example, I will use whatnot in a sentence. For example, I'll say, my favorite root vegetables are carrots, potatoes, radish, and whatnot. Okay, so because of a particular reason, let's say there's no more time, or because there is no need anymore to mention the other entities, then you can just say whatnot. If it's no longer essential to really mention everything. So to represent those other things, you can use whatnot, etc. But in etc, you don't have to use the and anymore. For the whatnot, you can still use the and because whatnot anyway is a pronoun. Okay, another example of a sentence with the word whatnot. My favorite gemstones are peridot, opal, pearl, diamond, and whatnot. Okay, so okay, enough of that. Let's have the next word, wannabe. So as you see, you can spell them two ways, but the more popular one is the first one, the wannabe with a hyphen. Okay, a wannabe is a person who acts and who imitates someone or who wants to be someone else. Now in that case, I'm really a fan of the megastar Sharon Carrera. So I want to be like her, but that will remain a dream. But that's fine. That's fine. Every now and then, it's therapeutic to daydream and be inspired by the works and the life of someone whom we consider to be an icon. So that's really fine. Okay. The last example of a word with the sound of wa is wait person. Wait person is the non-sexist term for waiter and waitress. Very obvious that waiter is very masculine And then waitress is a feminine term. If you want to go common, if you want to go neutral, then you can say wait person. And of course, the work of a wait person is to wait tables. Their work is waiting tables in a restaurant, not so much in an eatery. An eatery is a smaller one. Usually the dishes are already prepared, and the customer will just approach there and then point, and then the attendant will just pack the food. In a restaurant, it's a different case. So we really need wait persons in a restaurant. Okay, so again, wa sound as in Warren, what are uzel, what not, wannabe, and wait person. Okay, so okay. So as promised earlier, I will be answering 5 open-ended questions and 5 closed-ended questions. I will answer first the closed-ended questions. Again, closed-ended questions would only require us to give one specific simple answer or one-word answer like yes or no, or a specific idea. Okay, 5. The first closed-ended question that I will answer is, who laundered the scarves? Who laundered the scarves? Then I can just say, the launderer. Simple as that. So it's already done. Launderer. Second closed-ended question, is it safe to buy food from an eatery? Is it safe to buy food from an eatery? Again, eatery is karinderya in Cebuano Visayan language. Then I can just answer this, yes. Okay, so very obvious it's closed-ended. Okay, the third closed-ended question is, what is your go-to karaoke song? What is your go-to karaoke song? Okay. My answer to this one is Anytime by the Jets. Anytime by the Jets. Check that out on YouTube. It's really an inspirational song. Okay. The fourth closed-ended question that I will answer is, have you tried eating sandwich with lettuce? Have you tried eating sandwich with lettuce? My answer is yes. And that's it. It's done. The final closed-ended question that I will answer is, do you speak more than one language? Do you speak more than one language? The answer is yes. And that's it. Okay. Next, this is the most challenging part for me. The open-ended questions that I will answer today are gotten from the Miss Universe pageant. So since I chose 5 questions, so it means that I reviewed 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I also reviewed 5 final question and answer rounds. Okay, so the first one is, this was asked in the year 2014, Miss Universe 2014. And the open-ended question is, what is the greatest contribution of your country to the world? What is the greatest contribution of your country to the world? Okay, so it is already an open book that just like other countries in the world, the Philippines was colonized by more than 2 colonial governments. But still, we're here, an independent country. And that is a shout out to the world that Philippines is a model of resilience and integrity. And that is one thing that other citizens of the world can learn from us. Another thing is we are very popular among foreign employers because of our ideal work ethics. And that is something that we can also share to the world. We are born and raised in a country which value the culture of excellence. And that is something that international Filipino performers and workers who are renowned in their fields have really served to as a testament of our being a Filipino. Okay. Next is, the second question is from Miss Universe 2009, and the question is, what is about fame? Why many people want to be famous? Okay, so We always have objectives, we always have goals in our lives. And there are times when the implementation or the realization of those goals would definitely take time because of a lot of factors. And one of that is the fact that it's not really easy to reach out to as many people as you would like to reach out because of certain limitations. And that limitation can be resolved when you are famous. It's easier for you to influence and inspire in a short time with many people. So you become effective and efficient, especially if you have advocacies which are socially significant. So that's why many people really want to be famous. But we just have to remember that all entities in this world have negative and positive sides. So we have to control the negative and let's highlight and always focus on the positive. Okay, next is from Miss Universe 2001. If you had to change one thing in your past, what would that be? Again, if you had to change one thing in your past, what would that be? This is really a dumbfounding question. It makes you speechless for a few seconds, and I don't know how a Miss Universe candidate would handle that kind of experience. I'm a firm believer that everything that happens to our lives, be it negative or positive, contribute to the kind of person that we are now. So if we're wiser, if we think we're smarter, if we think we're more fortified, if we think more resilient, then that's because we have undergone experiences in the past. But for the sake of answering this question, I would like to say that I I don't like to say I regret, but there are people who did not deserve the love and the attention and the material things I had given them. And I wish I could just, I could just go back to that moment in my life, to those years in my life, and just transfer the love and care and attention to someone who really deserves it more. So I said I'm not really regretting because from that experience I have realized that from now on I really have to choose the people who are deserving of that kind of reward. Because whatever things that you will do for other people is already a big thing, because that's an indication of selflessness, and selflessness is not really easy. Okay, so I will stop there because I don't want to be emotional and I don't want to cry in front of the camera for the first time in my vlogging life. Okay, the next question is from Miss Universe 2019. The question is, what should we be teaching young girls today? Again, what should we be teaching young girls today? Well, let's just make it 21st century learners. We have to teach them how to maximize and grab every learning opportunity that would come knocking at their doors, so that they can absorb and they will be armored and they will be equipped with the knowledge, the skills, the confidence, the resilience, and all the virtues needed as weapons in conquering the challenges of the real world. The world which is outside their home and the world outside their school. And that at least for those rare moments when they will be alone, then they can still fight and they will say that, yes, I have wings and I'm ready to fly. Okay. Okay, and the final open-ended question that I will answer came from Miss Universe 2002. Again, Miss Universe 2002. Question is, what makes you blush? What makes you blush? Yes, I didn't expect that this kind of question would be asked in a Miss Universe pageant. For me, this question is just for casual interviews or intimate conversations, but it's a final question of a Miss Universe pageant. This is really crazy. Okay, blush. Blush is when your face turns red, or the reddening of the face, or in Cebuano Visaya, namuwa, or in Filipino language, namumula ang mukha. And this is the opposite of blanch. Because when you say blanching, your face turns white or pale, namumutla in Filipino language, and luspad, ng luspad in Cebuano Visayan dialect. What makes you blush? Never thought this would be a Miss Universe question, honestly, and I'm sorry for repeating the idea. Blushing is such an interesting and kaleidoscopic facial expression because what evokes that kind of expression is a mixture of different feelings, mixture of negative and positive feelings. So it's so hard to choose a specific reason why you blush. But to generalize, I should say that blushing is caused by a moment when you are embarrassed and by a moment when you are being overwhelmed by something. Let's say you have achieved something, you have won something, and you did something good, and the people around you are very much appreciative and very much grateful to what you have done for them. Then, if that happens to me, I blush. And I hope, as a Miss Universe ambassador, Miss Universe organization ambassador, I hope that that would be the same thing that will happen to me. You know, making other people happy aside from making myself happy. Because that is an indication of compassion and true love when you make someone else happy and you make someone else fulfilled. That is immeasurable. The sense of fulfillment is immeasurable. Okay, so I'm now relieved. The hardest part is over. So I hope you have learned something from my answers to the questions. Thank you so much for watching this episode, and I can't wait to see you next time. Bye. Love you and enjoy the rest of your day.